Hi YouTube. I know it's been quite a while since my last video. There's been a lot going on medically with me, and I've had a hard time sitting up. I've been having a lot of trouble with my back. So sitting up is very, very painful. Also tiring. I'm pretty tired right now, but I've gotten a few comments regarding my video about sensory processing disorder, and just kind of wanted to update with that. I do have Aspergers Syndrome. It's been confirmed through one of my former psychologists, therapists, and my goodness, I look really pale today. Hopefully it's the light. um, So, yeah, I thought that needing a diagnosis, I thought I didn't really need one. But the minute I got one, I just felt this huge sense of relief. Because so much was explained, and, it was like one of those, I'm not crazy. There are reasons why I'm unable to do certain things, and why I have difficulty doing certain things. And, it just made me feel a little bit better. I mean, now I can recognize, I recognize a lot of the things that I do, especially in social situations. I tend to interrupt. I don't mean to, and I don't realize that I'm interrupting. It's just the whole knowing when or where you're supposed to answer a person. It's the whole reciprocating conversation, which there's another part of that I'll talk about in a bit. um I don't know when the appropriate time to say something is necessarily, and then by the time I've waited too long, and what I wanted to say isn't relevant anymore. So then that adds to the whole interrupting, because I'm afraid I won't be able to, say what I want to say. And there's also what I tend to have a difficult time with chit chat, or when people ask how I'm doing. I tend to be more truthful than people tend to want, or I go into more detail than people tend to want, and that's not something I really got before, so now I just kind of say, oh, the same, or I'm fine, or, one of my favorite answers now is, better than some, worse than most. I kind of like that phrase. But it's pretty self-explanatory, as far as, my situation. Things aren't, terribly awful. There are definitely people that are in worse shape than I am, but there are a lot of people that are in better shape, so it kind of fits. And it's also a way to laugh things off. Um, but where I have a lot of difficulty is remembering to ask the other person how they are, like the whole, conversational etiquette, and that comes off as rude. And I don't mean to be, I try not to be rude. I don't think I'm a rude person in general, but little things like that can often make me seem, rude. Um, you know, I've, that's one of the two big social things. I've noticed what some of my what's called SIMs or stims are, and that's used to, because our nervous system gets overloaded with all the sensory input. So, and that's, with people that tend to talk with their hands or something, there's a joke. So, some people I know, they're hand talkers, and, if they joke that if you tie their hands behind their back, they won't be able to speak. What I do now is, I will doodle, and that helps a lot, especially when I'm out. I always have a little moleskin with me, a little moleskin notebook, and I doodle in it. Or I, have a bracelet, with beads. I play with those. I like the feeling of slipping I'll take it off, and I like the feeling of slipping the beads through my fingers. Um, Little things like that. I used to, without realizing it, I would just scratch at myself, or scratch, I didn't notice I was doing that. So I've been trying not to do that so much because I have very, very sensitive skin from the Ehlers-Danlos. So, you try to do something that's a little bit more productive, like doodling, or that's not a way of harming yourself. So those are some things. I always have something to play with, or something, play with my hands, or the doodling is a good one. Let's see, what else? Oh, the noise. I still have a very, very difficult time with noise. My ears have become very, very sensitive to the earplugs. I can't handle having things in my ears. So that's become a difficult situation. My ears tend to hurt because I have very, very small ears, even with the earbuds that come with my iPod. So I'm going to have to figure out something else to do. Maybe put some cotton in my ears or something. So I don't know, I'm going to have to figure something out. To Allison from Autistica Planet, I know of a woman who's got such sensitive hearing that she actually lives her life as a deaf woman now, her outside life, to go outside. She wears her noise canceling headphones, sometimes connected to an iPod, sometimes not, and has taken up sign language to communicate with other people, or writing out notes for the things she needs. Like a library, she'll write out the books she needs, or what I like to do is I do stuff online. I order my library books online and then just run in and pick them up, or my case, I wheel in with my chair and pick them up. But going out with friends is still difficult. But I avoid a lot now. Once a week I go to a knitting group at a cafe, very small cafe. It's usually just the knitting group. And they know about my sensitivities, and they're very good about, they're just very nice people, and I really enjoy their company. When the espresso machine and stuff is going off, I just cover my ears. And it tends to work out. It still bothers me with the sound and stuff, but it tends to work out. I sit myself where I'm not in the middle of everything. I'm kind of on an outside edge, still sitting with the group, but just kind of, on the outside edge. I also have my service dog Shadow, and he'll put his head on my lap, and I'll pet him as another, a stimulus. With the tinnitus retraining therapy, I haven't heard much about it. I'm going to have to look more into that, but I have heard about the peak noise hearing aid type things. Not a lot, but I'm going to have to look into that, and I will definitely try and help out as much as I can, because that sounds like something that could be useful for me as well. Anyway, I'm running out of time, and so that's my update for now, and hopefully I'll get a chance to talk more soon. Bye.